Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and any transgenders watching our chat show, Being Social. As I always say, in Being Social, every time I try and bring in some inspirational personality with inspirational deeds or mind or persona. And this evening, my esteemed guest is Ira Joshi. Ira Joshi ji was an officer of Indian Information Service, and there is hardly any area where she has not worked in the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting in the government relating to information and broadcasting, including with the national broadcasters and national All India Radio, the publication division, the press information bureau, and whatnot. So we'll know more from her. And welcome, Mira, to our this chat show. It's very simple. I just introduced you, so let our viewers hear about your initial journey in life with your childhood education and higher education, and when you joined the civil service. And we know that you have got you joined two civil services. So please tell us.
Uh, Let me first thank you for calling me for this interaction. And as far as my journey is concerned, my journey has been mostly in Delhi. Let me put it that way, because I was from fourth class onwards in Delhi Public School, Mathura Road, then Lady Sri Ram College, BA Honors Economics, then Delhi School of Economics, MA Economics. After that, I was sitting for the civil services exam and also teaching for some time in Lady Sri Ram College, and then in Indraprasth College, IP College, and then 83 exam, cleared the civil services exam. So 84 August, after the grand fire in Mussoorie, LBSNA, we reached there. So that was a very, our batch somehow, we have entered the service at a time that first there was that big fire in the Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy. And then, it's a very interesting aspect that when we were going for the village visit, we sat in the train one night. The next morning, we get to know about Mrs. Gandhi's death. So my personal village visit was, my and my group's village visit was in a hotel. So we were deprived of the village visit per se. That was a very difficult period because one of the group which got down earlier, all their things were taken away by the mob. So the next day, the officer who was accompanying the probationers, he came over to the Patna. I was in that Patna group. So he came over to Patna to buy the basic clothes for his group. That is one aspect. And then almost by the end of this, 84 was a eventful period, if you recall. So 84, then it was the Bhopal gas tragedy. So we started our service in a very grand manner, or actually, they were all unfortunate events. But that's what it is. So it was the moment we finished our this foundation course in Mussoorie, there were the general elections. So we all, from all services who had joined Mussoorie at that time, we all got different types of experience of the elections in the very first assignment. So that is the basic this thing. After that, of course, one in services, one keeps moving from one post to the other. So apart from the information and broadcasting ministry, I have also gone on deputation in defense ministry for 4 years and in education ministry. So defense ministry, I've done some procurements, and which I cannot really talk about because that's not supposed to be talked about. And education, I have done adult education, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, a lot of things there. You know, so a lot of work with the people in the villages, the people for whom we are all working.
I was under the impression that you joined in Indian Economic Service also initially.
No, 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 I did not.
No, you did not. Okay,
No,
my that
no,
misinformation
no, no,
given
no,
to me by myself.
no, no. I was teaching.
Okay, you were teaching, right, right.
I
You
was
were
teaching
teaching in
at
LSR and
PDG,
IP college later. Yes.
IP college later. So meanwhile, I was sitting for the exam because
Hmm.
that's the best thing. Because I mean, I can this thing because these days what I am doing is sitting with the these things in mock interview boards, and what I find is, which is very wrong, that many of the aspirants for the civil services, they are not doing anything, only preparing for the exam. And if you would like, I can give you an example which is very glaring, because there was one person who was a young, bright boy who worked in Wipro, obviously would be getting decent salary, and his father was a chowkidar. He saw that the prelims exams are very easy. His friends were giving it. So he chucked his job in Wipro and said, I'll start preparing for the civil services. And then his family, obviously, when you are getting a good income, so they started telling him, what is this? So then, that was COVID time. So then he took up the Chowkidar's job, his father's profession. And somehow he landed in my house. And he would come with laptop at night and do the this thing job. So then he came to know that I was in the services. So he came to me, Madam, I'm feeling very depressed because I've chucked that job, and now, I mean, my income is so low. So then I advised him that why don't you do teach online, you know. So he says, I used to do that before, but then after COVID, that has all stopped. I said, you now that the COVID is over, you try again. I'm sure it must have started online teaching. After a week, he came back to me very happy because he had started that online teaching also. I mean, these small things which people from that background, poor guys, they don't get the right advice, and they land up in trouble in that sense. So this is something I mean, this is something which I've just told you, but this is an experience which really touched me.
You have told something very important because if people from lower middle class or lower class background, if they chuck their job, if by any chance if they don't make it, don't crack the civil service, they get further depressed and sometimes they commit suicide also.
Exactly.
So there should always be a plan B. The plan B works well. So what if you don't get that one? That you have the option to work elsewhere, and avenues are available
Exactly.
everywhere. That is something
Because
very
not only
important. people
No,
must
because not only
appreciate.
because UPSC is allowing them to sit for the exam for so many times that they become pretty old by the time they are still doing it. If they get in, then the service opportunity is limited. I mean, promotions, etc., services, you look at the promotions also, that becomes limited. So this is something which is very important, which most people don't understand. Leave everything and study. That's the worst thing possible.
Yes. We will not ask you anything about defense because you dealt with procurements, I know.
Yeah.
So, but we will ask you about the civilian engagement of yours. So, let's begin with being the media advisor to ministers. Which all ministers you worked with, and what was your experience?
So you work with a large number of ministers. So, I mean, and sometimes it is that you are working with several ministers. Which all ministers you would like to know? But there are so many because if you are in your own ministry, then your ministers are also the ministers you are working with in that sense. So, Smriti Rani ji is there, Dr. Murli Manohar Joshi, Sushma Swaraj ji, Jaipal Reddy. I mean, there are so many. I mean, it's a very difficult to name all of them. Mr. Chidambaram and many others. Because I have worked in the Home Ministry. I have worked in as a media advisor and agriculture, health and family welfare. My own ministry, INB, Information Broadcasting,
HRD, of course.
HRD, of course. So, and you know, some ministers are so nice. For instance, I mean, I will not name, sometimes it's not good to name the people,
Sure.
though, mm, though for the good ones I can. So, uh, Jaipal Reddy ji and Murli Manohar ji, they were so affectionate to their people, like, I mean, whoever was working with them, they were very affectionate. And the guts of Mr. Jaipal Reddy, I must say, he was, as everybody knows, it was very difficult for him to walk because he was with the clutches. Once he had a media meet. It was in the conference hall, which was one floor above his office. Okay. And the lift conked off when he had to go up. We said ki we will call people in your room and you have that conference. No. Walked up the steps. I mean, you could see that it was not so easy for him to do it. But he was a very nice person because he told so many stories about himself. They are very, very interesting. And Dr. Murli Manohar Joshi, of course, he's also very, very affectionate person.
Offering you ethnic food also at home.
Yeah. Yes, very right. And chana with the cover and without cover in office. So
So,
it was very. I mean, if you are working with a very nice person, you, even if it is odd times, you would not hesitate to work for them. If somebody is not very cordial, but actually most of the ministers are nice to the media people and people who are looking after their own media publicity. I have worked with Uma Bharti ji also. I mean, when she was in HRD, and Dr. Ira Joshi was also there in HRD. So there are different experiences. Sometimes some ministers would say something odd about their own uh, political party colleagues. So you have to tell them, "You don't say this." This also has happened with me. What are you doing? Or sometimes it happens that the minister says something about the opposition party as if they are about to join that party. So if they are giving a media interview at that time, then I mean, one-to-one interview you can handle it. But if it is a press conference, it becomes difficult.
Sure. The kind of names you gave, without referring to any names, I am tempted to ask you a question. Some of these are very firebrand politicians and ministers. Are they difficult to work in the office also?
Hmm? What? Can you please
Some of
repeat?
these firebrand names you had
I
mentioned,
can't hear.
you can't hear me?
Hmm. Yeah, now I can hear you.
Some of these firebrand politicians you named who are ministers, you work with them. I was saying I'm tempted to ask you, are they easy to work with them, or they're also in office
No,
also they
no, they
remain
are very easy to
firebrand?
work. They, at least with me, they were very. I mean, it was a pleasure working with them. Let me put it that way. It was a
That's
pleasure.
that's a very professional way of working them. I mean I'm happy that my doubts have been cleared on that.
No, in fact, you know, one Congress politician who, uh, who has been INB minister, but I will not name him because he is still the thing. But on TV, it seems as if he is very, rough and tough and all that. And person to person, he is so sweet to talk to. I mean, public image, private image, they are sometimes very different.
One image for the media, one for the constituency, and another one is professional. That yeah, that if you mix
That's
it well,
right.
I can smell the name also though, but we'll not discuss it.
No, no, let's not. I mean, it's not right.
Yeah, and I mean we will not discuss any names. So you mentioned about Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. Can you tell us your personal? You dealt with it not as a advisor to the minister, but also
No,
you
no, I
personally.
dealt with it on deputation. I was there
Yes,
as
yes.
director
So
education.
what was the extent of importance of this scheme and what all it did, and
You
were you
see,
satisfied?
Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, along with that, Jan Shikshan Sansthan, and in fact, Mahila Samakhya also I was looking after for some time. All these, I have visited the states to see the actual progress. Now, I mean, then and even now, there is a lot of problem in midday meal scheme in implementation. Many a times, again, I cannot name the states. I mean, it's not proper, but many a times the children are, the basic idea of midday meal scheme was that the children should not be hungry so that they can, and they have a good diet and they are able to understand and learn something. That was the basic idea. Now, if instead of that, in some schools, the monthly quota of the grain is being given to the uh, kids or their parents, uh, and that day only everybody comes to school, then what is the education that is happening? What is the education? I mean, they're not learning anything. Some places, I'm not saying everywhere, many places it's going on well, but in some places, this has also been seen. In fact, after Orissa cyclone, I mean, talking about a long time back, we'd gone for a visit. The team had gone. So there we saw in one of the schools, there, the Anganwadi workers, the other people, they are being used for this work, for cooking. So many things, but many of the aspects have been improved over time. Many of the aspects have been improved over time, and for instance, I and as far as the women's this thing is concerned, uh, there are so many schemes so that women make papada and sell them and all that. But those schemes, Mahila Samakya and all that, what was happening at that time was that marketing was a weak point. Now, even in the latest budget, and even before that, a lot has been done for marketing. That's a very, I mean, government also learns over time. Okay, this is the deficiency. Now let us improve this. So I was glad to see that that aspect is there in this budget.
Yes, advocacy and publicity becomes very important because otherwise people sometimes they do not know what is actually
Yeah, yeah.
provided for and what is happening. At least the civil
Hmm.
society, even if not directly by people, the civil society takes care of that, and then certain
Hmm.
things come to the light
Yeah.
in the form of feedback.
That's what, that is why what is important is that those people who are looking after the schemes at the ground level, at the state level, at the central level, must take the pains to visit and see what is actually happening. How implementation is important. For instance, now we have this Pragati scheme. It's a very good idea because then you are constantly monitoring, and that constant monitoring is very important for good implementation of any scheme. I mean,
Monitoring as well as evaluation.
yeah.
So, Ira, we had just picked up this one drop from your career dealing with being media advisor.
Mm,
Now, one by one, let me ask you your other engagements with the national broadcaster. You have been Director General News also in the Doordarshan.
mm.
So, tell us some of your experiences there and the challenges, and if you were able to uh, add value to certain practices and systems, would you like to share them?
See, in DD News and in AIR, in both places, special program for Sanskrit was started in my time because I don't know whether you have seen them or not or heard them, but for Sanskrit, there have been programs which try to give Sanskrit news and also try to make people more conscious that this language is really has something weighty. Let's put it that way. And DD News, many things. I mean, because I mean, DD News, the biggest challenge in DD News is that the you have to cover lot of important people, and one of the very important person is the Prime Minister, present Prime Minister. His programs are so back to back, whether it is in India or abroad, that it's a real challenge to cover all of them. I'm telling you because I know this started then. It's really a challenge, but then of course you have to do it. You do it. You find ways to do it. There's a Man Ki Baat for now. Man Ki Baat started in AIR, but actually, Doordarshan DD News is an equal part in that partner in that, because if you have seen the Man Ki Baat on DD News, because I have also gone through it, that's why I'm saying, and then you see that the whatever is mentioned, DD News has to go and get the videos of those people, those activities, everything. And that has to be done in a very short time. There is a time constraint. I mean, there have been times when Sunday is the Man Ki Baat, and I am sitting in the DD News room where we are all sitting to edit the video, which is to go, and we are. We were coming home at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock at night, not in day. On that would be Saturday, Sunday night. That one. So, I mean, it's a challenge because time is of essence. In the AIR, for you were asking only for DD News just now, okay? Then let's
I'll
limit
ask
it
one by one.
one by one. So DD News and other these things, there's so many issues that one has to deal with simultaneously. In fact, one of my ex-bosses, and who had been DD News earlier, I mean, some years back, she rang me up when I became DD News, and she told me there is so much of tension in this job, and you will have continuous because you have to be so many people and everybody has a different problem. So then you should get up after every hour or two to take a round somewhere so that you don't get spondylitis. You know, because it's a tension job. There is a tension. You are monitoring. In my room, there were two big TV screens, each one having 4 to 6 TV channels. So you are monitoring other channels. Again, I will not name, but in one of the channels, what was being broadcast, I saw, was that this power project, because of this has become a ghost village, and they are showing the village. Key government has done nothing, they have just displaced the people. I saw that. So I sent my team to the power minister to to get his version of it. His version was that obviously that becomes a ghost village because all of them have been settled somewhere else. So it's there. You know, it depends on what you want to show. TV is a medium where you can show a big crowd even with 20 people. You get my point?
Yes,
And
yes.
you, whatever you, it is up to you. If your agenda is to show something negative, you will be able to show it. If your agenda is to show something positive, you will be able to show it. So it becomes very difficult actually to know that what is the reality, because there is no absolutely black or absolutely white. There's always shades of gray. So those sorts of things. There's so many incidents. One and then actually we took many initiatives now. I mean, very difficult because everybody would not understand those initiatives in technology. Because technology wise, we took several initiatives.
That's fine. You mentioned it well. But a question, let me,
Mhm.
like, like one gentleman from a channel says, "Poochta hai Bharat." So on behalf of the people, those who think, The DD News or Doordarshan is a national broadcaster. They have
Yeah.
got the most privy information on news and anything happening in the government, in the country.
Mm.
Then why they are not able to match up in terms of their financial and professional performance with the other media, with the private sector media?
Do you think they don't? Other media, what are they doing? Showing one this thing, and the whole news is of 1 hour of only one thing. Is that news? What is the original news? Facts, isn't it? Number one.
Yes,
Number two, as far as this thing is concerned, as far as the revenues are concerned, sometimes what happens is you have to see that the poorest of the poor get the acknowledgement, isn't it? So you have to go much further in the remote areas to sometimes cover something. Private media does go sometimes. It depends on the person. Actually, whether it is DD News or any private media, depends on the person who is who is behind the thing, behind the camera, or who is in charge of that channel. Because the directions they give, the commercial angle, if you are looking at the commercial angle, obviously what you are trying to show would be something very hyped up. That is what is happening. It is hyped up. You see, even the Supreme Court judgments, what is happening at the Supreme Court judgments? The judgment starts, and actually when a judge gives the judgment, in the beginning he is only giving a preface, in the sense that this is what this one said, this is what this one. Have you ever noticed many of the private channels, they start saying the judge has decided this, though actual judgment comes in the end. And when that
operational part.
comes, the whole thing is reversed.
Operational part is different generally.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So this is this is a game now, because they are looking for mm, revenues, obviously, and revenues they think will come only with a lot of excitement, breaking
Yes.
news.
Yes, you mentioned earlier about marketing. Is it
Hmm.
that you do lesser marketing? Because I see most state governments very elaborate advertisements in private channels, and I haven't really seen the similar advertisements given by the state governments or the public sector companies to national broadcasters. Do you have any take on this, or my impression is
I
wrong?
think your impression, you see, I think your impression is wrong. I mean, frankly, I don't think that is correct, because when you are looking at the central only. But you have, for instance, DD News, there'll be national channel, regional language. So that region, that language, this thing broadcast will go now. DD News Gujarati will show the Gujarati state wala ad
Okay.
more than the national one. That way.
Yeah, but the news feed, whether they are
Hmm.
direct broadcast of major events and all that, feed goes from the DD News only, right?
Yeah,
To everyone. Is that
yeah,
free? Is that
free,
free or they pay up for it?
free.
Okay, so
That
that
at my time it was free. Let me say put it that way.
so you think there should be some cost sharing on that by the those who
I think
use it?
because if you even now if you see many of them say courtesy DD News.
Hmm.
When the private channel is giving, when they are giving acknowledgement, then it's fine. Though yes, That is where the revenue could come, but it doesn't come.
So consciously we
Well,
have
it is a
chosen.
national interest thing. In a way, it becomes a national interest. It is national interest, then you don't think of revenue.
Hmm,
That-
fair
That's
enough.
that's the way it goes.
Let's switch to the platform now. Let's go to radio now. All India Radio. All India Radio was very popular in my times when I was young. There used to be very good programs like Hawa Mahal and Modi ke Matwale Rahi. Every day people used to get
Yeah.
glued to those and very nice content. But over the years, what happened? All India Radio people, when these private channels came, the FM channels came, uh, for some time there was a lag in All India Radio, but now of course they have caught up with their own FM channels, FM Gold and AIR FM and others. So, do you think that because they joined late, they paid for the price for that, and private channels overtook them?
You see, you are talking about your younger days. Now, at that time, AIR was the only channel. And so it was the responsibility of the AIR, in a way. And this is something which AIR has done. 'Cause I put that in my book also, which will come out in a few months. That they were they had the youth channel, a lot of youth culture, everything. AIR had that responsibility of ma- giving them to the people, making people, uh, giving them the ability to be able to see them. Even music was being taught on AIR. During the Green Revolution, the radio rice, etc., was being called. All that was there. Now, radio has itself. Do you know that DD was an experiment of radio? All India Radio.
No.
Doordarshan. That was an experiment of All India Radio. So then DD News came. Now, then other many FM channels came. Even now, but still, what you are saying, AIR reaches 99% of the population. These FM channels are in the city, limited area. So they are catering to the that city or that area. AIR is catering to the whole country, though of course in different languages and all that. So these are so now there is a competition. At that time there was no competition. Whatever you had, that was only AIR, All India Radio, for you, for entertainment or news or anything else, culture, everything. It was only AIR. When you have so many channels, obviously it gets the audience gets distributed. So it's a natural way flow of things. I don't think that is something much to be worried about, because All India Radio, for instance, initially the broadcast of All India Radio was only by i- initially those big radio sets or then the transistors, and now you only also have mobile. You have the app now, Prasar Bharati app, where you can listen, and on the website it's there available, and they are tweeting and all that. All the social media is being used. So it takes time to shift to and adopt new technologies. The period of this thing that you're talking about, it is only the time when you are shifting to adopting newer technologies also. It is in addition to the original one.
Okay. I understand that both Doordarshan as well as the All India Radio have the major presence in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities and villages. And while these types of uh, Radio Mirchi and others, I mean, they are limited to the people who are digital savvy and I mean,
Even
who
digital, now it has become digital also. But I'll give you one example, what you are saying. During COVID, even the other private media more or less sat inside initial stage. Because during the first stage, I was Principal Director General and looking after the whole of All India Radio News plus the other side. Now, who will give the message? So we were the ones, 24/7, and the we had started programs with doctors to tell people what is happening, what precautions they should take. And in some places like Guwahati, that was with the help of police and others, that was being also broadcast on loudspeakers so that a person who is outside and he doesn't have the radio at that time, he can also listen.
okay,
So
bring
AIR
on.
has always played a big role.
Yeah, yeah, sure. No denial. No denying. I was just wondering that commercially they have
Hmm.
been overtaken by the private channels. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, but commercial, commercial, the public sector is not supposed to be only for commercial angle. Na?
Sure, sure enough.
That's
Let's take up some viewers' comments now. There are
mm-hmm.
majority of them probably are known to you. Um, Professor Chandra Shekhar Pant is saying, welcome Iraji to this live show. Long time since we are face to face today. Welcome once again. Rajendra Pantji says, welcome. And Rajendra Pantji is also asking a question which we are talking about. Let me ask questions again. Dr. Uma Pant is saying, so nice to see you. Geeta Joshi ji is saying, दोनों को सादर प्रणाम. Uma Pant is again saying, so nice to hear you. And Manoj Pandey is saying, very nice. Now, Shashi Pathak is also saying, good evening. Now, let me refer these some of these questions to you. I mean, Rajendra Pantji is saying, do you think that midday meal scheme is still useful?
It is. It is useful provided it is implemented in a proper manner. In the manner it was supposed to be implemented, because poverty has not yet gone.
Yes, and now
And
it's better. Now it's better managed also with all Bhojan Matas
yeah,
making meals at
yeah,
the
you
home
learn
style
from your
meals.
hmm.
Yeah. Um, Umapanji is saying this episode beautifully highlights the quiet strength, clarity, and responsibility with which senior bureaucracy functions. That is targeted at you, especially at the intersection of media and politics. A voice of experience. Not a
Thank you.
question, just a comment. Kudos to you. Now, supporting your view, Chandrasekhar Pantji professor is saying DD News even today is dependable and shows the real news. Private channels are at times irritating. Government of India has does Government of India have any control mechanism?
You see, if government of India starts controlling the private media, it will be there will be a lot of hue and cry. Don't you think so?
Yes,
So,
sure.
so that's certainly not advisable. But yes, there are rules of the game. Let's say because people are, I mean, you cannot, there are rules that you cannot broadcast or telecast anything that will start creating problems, communal rights, na- against national integration, etc. So those rules are there. Another thing, you remember the Bombay, the terrorists had attacked the Taj Hotel and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Now that at that time, media had played a very negative role, if you remember. Private media, they were showing, okay, the security personnel are going from here and that, and I mean, it was being shown live, and the terrorists were also looking at it, and that was very harmful. So after that, also the rules were made to ensure that during such time you cannot show live action of the police or the army or whatever security agency, because the
Yes, sure.
lives of people are involved.
Sure, national security and national issues must be protected. But let
Yeah.
me be the devil's advocate, Ira. A
Yeah.
lot of people think that government nowadays has full-on control on private media, at least the news channels.
um, how many times have you seen criticism of government? There is criticism of government in the media. Problem is that today media is sharply divided. It is either pro government or anti government. Though some of the pro government media has also started becoming anti government at times.
Yes, yes, I
So
noticed that.
when there is criticism of government, how can you say that the media is not being allowed to speak? I don't understand.
Ah,
Isn't it a contradiction?
it is, but it is, as I said, I am being the devil's advocate.
Yeah, yeah.
And another comment from Sadhna Rawatji, your colleague, very
Batchmate.
nice, Ira, very nice, batchmate here.
Thanks, Sadhna.
So we have talked about the media and the what we were discussing about the control and the outreach and the performance. Do you think that social media has emerged a bigger player nowadays for the people in general to um, share their content and views and news? Many
Social
people
media.
say what is not coming in the media, it is coming in the social media, and social media has been popularized by mostly by politicians. I mean, many of these elections by different parties have been won because of their bench strength in social media, and that is what the popular perception is, and I subscribe to that.
Yes, 2014 election was the first time that social media was used very effectively
No,
by,
no, no, before that, Aam Aadmi Party was the first.
huh? Aam Aadmi
Aam
Party.
Aadmi Party. And
2013.
before Aam Aadmi Party also, my favorite, in spite of all comments about him, Swami Ramdev, made very good use of social media.
Swami Ramdev made very good use of not only the social media, the advertising media also. He used it pretty effectively. That is there. But
Yeah.
if you're talking about you were talking about social media and political party. That's why I was saying that this thing. But social media, yes, social media has, social media has had both pluses and minuses, because now combined with AI, you don't know what is coming out in social media. Is it really true or not? When you
This was exactly my worry and next question, that in the using making use of AI and motivated content making,
mm,
anybody is being targeted, and do you think that government must have effective control on these things?
some rules are in the process of being made. And if you recall, this is the sort of thing which happened with X, Gawk, and there's very objectionable photographs that were being videos that were being shown there. So then government did take action, asked X to stop that and all that. So see, the problem is that general public thinks that the moment somebody does something wrong, next moment government should stop it. But in government, it takes time because you have to look at all aspects, make a policy in that sense, and ensure that it doesn't happen in future. But in that, it's like the chor sipahi ka khel types. You have to government also has to keep changing and improving its defense mechanism, or defense mechanism for the public in that sense. So even now, that is why your AI impact summit is coming up in I think this month only, 20th or 21st. The AI, artificial intelligence, has become a very important tool, because even in this, it will become a very important tool. Then you have to know who has started a wrong thing in the social media. And it's very difficult because people keep, without even seeing, sometimes people forward. So it's like that. So you have to really find out, just as bank frauds, you can 100 or 500 accounts where they are spending 10 rupees and 100 rupees. It's something like that. So social
I'm sure
media,
AI. I am sure AI can help you in finding also the culprits, particularly
yeah,
in the
that's what
media,
I'm
who
saying. So
posted it first.
whether it is AI or computers, garbage in, garbage out is also there. So you have to be very careful what you put in, what you develop in the AI to get the right results.
And another one is the fake news. People just to get views and in
That
YouTube
is
or
again the same thing.
I mean, they just spread fake news. How many times we have seen very healthy cinema stars announced as dead
Mm,
in the social media, and such, at least these are some of these, and the vilifying campaigns against individual
yeah.
politicians including prime minister. These are something, I mean, they should be
So
non-bailable offenses.
rules rules are being made because uh, you India is a democracy. If it was some dictatorship, you could have done it immediately. But in a democracy, you have to go by certain. So it is a slower pace, but slow and steady, but then it is done. That sort of a thing.
Great, you're sounding like a politician. Any ambition to join
No,
politics?
no, I'm not sounding like a politician, but then having been in government, you know the constraints of the government.
Okay. Ira, let us ask you your rebirth in the society after you retired from the government. So, what are your social activities and professional activities? Any? I know you were working for a South Delhi not-for-profit organization.
No,
I
that
remember.
I was working with that NGO, but then unfortunately, when I found that it was not as straight as I expected it to be, so I withdrew from it, frankly,
Okay.
because an NGO should be for the people, not for the people who are running it.
Sure.
Put it that way. So that is not there. Then I have been. I mean, you see, in society there are so many things to do, even at individual level. That is what I found. that it is uh, because NGOs I found I mean, I did not like the atmosphere where somebody is trying to take advantage or using the NGO for for instance for just getting rid of your old clothes. Just an example. Okay,
Yeah.
so that sort of a thing. So I was out of it, and see after retirement there are two things. You keep your brain functioning, use your brains, and physical activity, mental physical activity. That is important. So, as far as mental is concerned, apart from reading, because reading is also an important this thing, I have been this thing with some mock interview boards, which is basically helping the people who want to get into the services. And the satisfaction there is that it is mostly those people who are now coming in for the exams and for the interviews are people whose mother is a, Anganwadi worker, father is a chowkidar or a havaldar, so they really need help. It's not that, a person from a background, middle class background or a higher class background, he has the means. But a person who is from lower, the poor section of the society, and who has the brains and the willingness to work hard, that zing is there in those people. That is what I like. So those people, helping them gives you a lot of satisfaction.
Sure,
That's
helping them
why,
and mentoring them gives them the added qualification to compete with those who have been
yeah,
privileged, unlike them. So that's very good of you. So,
that is.
Ira, let me ask you about what are your hobbies? I know one of your books about All India Radio is upcoming, which is
Oh,
supposed to be
that is
it
there.
is supposed to be the first book on All India Radio, I guess, comprehensive book. And I know you have been playing hockey as student.
No,
So
no, that
what
was as a student and in Missouri, hockey and badminton. But now, badminton, after retirement, I've started the
okay,
badminton
great.
with kids. But with kids, which really
Ah,
makes you know that what the topic you were talking about earlier about artificial intelligence. After summer vacations, summer vacations for the kids were getting over, and I play with them. So I said, okay, your homework is done. So उसमें क्या है? It's okay. I mean, AI has you just put it there and make the homework. So that I feel is a very dangerous thing because then the children are not learning anything.
yes, but there are tools available nowadays to check if it is more than 10% use
Yeah,
from AI. It reflects that you have got AI tool only to monitor this also. Um,
that's right.
So,
That
Ira,
is
we
there.
have discussed a lot of things and we are nearing an end of our conversation to do this evening. I have a segment which I call reflex responses. Other people say rapid fire questions, but there is no fire in my questions. I just ask some simple questions to my guests and don't give them any time to respond immediately. They have to tell in one word or two words what they think, not descriptive ones. The first question is, of course, we dealt with it also. What is more reliable, new channels or social media?
None of the above.
As case by case, right? And what do you think in the society is more important? I know you have been an economist. So the question is economics or politics?
It has to be a combination of both. I'm sorry, the
Okay.
questions you are asking, it is everything is
I know. The response can be this, but sometimes people say one of them. If somebody asks me, I will say economics because
yeah, economics,
everything.
yes, but then economics itself can sometimes, because if you are only thinking of economics, you'd also have to think of people for whom you are doing it.
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes there is
Economics
a
talks about it. Economics talks
hmm,
about it. The haves and have-nots,
economics talks about it,
the
but
distribution, redistribution, everything. Economics talks about
it
it.
talks about it, but then there is there is a lot of politics involved there
Yes,
also.
yes. There's a lot of
That's all.
economics involved in politics also, right?
Yeah,
Both.
both
Okay, this
ways.
one is straight question. This is your take, of course. Who are better managers, women or we men?
Women, of course. Women can do so many things simultaneously,
Okay.
and they
Um,
have better EQ, emotional quotient.
what is the answer of this is again known to me. What is worth
Hmm?
working for? Number one is retirement, and number two, having a second career.
My take is whatever you do, you should put your full heart into it so that you like whatever you do. Because in my case, whichever department I have worked in, I have liked it because creativity can, if you can be creative wherever you are, whatever you are doing, that is the best because you that gives you the satisfaction, and it has given me my career most of the time.
Okay, Ira, finally, what
I have
message
not
would you
given
like?
you one word answers. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. It's okay. The last question to you is what message would you like to give to people, especially young boys and girls in India and elsewhere?
There are two things I would say. Number one, that you should always, as far as the career is concerned, you should do what you feel you want to do and not what ABC is telling you, even your parents, because sometimes that is also wrong, because they what they could not do, they want to make you do it. Number one. Number two, as far as the social media AI is concerned, your value system, you should keep your value system right, then whatever you do would be right, whether it is in social media or in your job. Basic thing is a good value system.
Thank you. That's very important, viewers. First things he said was that do what you like the most. I mean, you be the judge of that, and of course, you can always hear others also, but make up your own choice what you want to become, but not at a very young age when you can do it. And secondly, she said the value system is very important. With that, Ira, thank you so much for sparing time to chat with me on this being social platform of mine. Thank you very much. All the
Thank
best.
you. I enjoyed it. Thank you.